In a game series built around criminals working their way up in the world through theft, it's ironic that in modern Grand Theft Auto, the one stealing the most isn't one of these masterfully written characters. Instead, it's the developer of the series itself. Rockstar has made a name for itself through technological innovation, incredible storytelling, and perhaps most important of all, parody. From the exaggerated dreams of drug dealers and hood rats in San Andreas to the post-9/11 extreme American pride seen in Liberty City, Rockstar has always had a biting social commentary in all of their games that parodies the ridiculousness of our modern era. Even the Tarantino-esque violence and over-the-top set pieces of old GTA games imitates film and other media. At times, GTA has stood as an homage to such art, and at other times, it has amped up the insanity to pure parody. But despite roasting news and talk radio, Silicon Valley organizations, and every aspect of pop culture, in 2026, it is clear the biggest parody of them all is Rockstar itself. Now, we're a few months away from Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'm stoked. I think the single-player experience is going to be profound. The campaign is going to be highly enjoyable, and I have no doubt it's going to win Game of the Year. However, I'm also confident that the multiplayer experience online is going to represent a profound step backwards that's going to be filled with microtransactions and predatory advertising and downright unfun gameplay. Look, I'm sure there are people watching this who highly enjoy GTA Online, but no one can doubt that what we were initially promised way back in 2013 has morphed into something wholly different that is, in many ways, an inferior experience designed to increase profits above all else. Back in 2008, when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, it included a Rockstar-led online multiplayer mode for the first time. Previous titles had multiplayer available on the PC through modding, but this was the first officially supported multiplayer mode available for the series. And you know what? It was incredible. It was perfect. The entire online component of GTA 4 felt like one big experiment designed around player freedom. There were your traditional game modes such as racing and deathmatch, which were all well and good, but Rockstar included several other game modes that really leaned into the theme of being a criminal. Cops and crooks divided a lobby in half. The crooks were tasked with getting from point A to point B, and the cops were tasked with stopping them through any means necessary. Mafia work was a similar game type, where up to 4 teams would get small missions to complete. Oftentimes, these missions would sabotage the other teams, such as when a mission was to assassinate a rival player. It would be so cool because sometimes one team would get an objective to basically prevent another team from completing their objective. You were constantly pitted against your opponents and given freedom to approach your tasks in unique ways. GTA 4 Online also had a free roam mode for up to 32 players on the PC, and the game allowed the host to customize a wide range of variables like police presence, traffic, and spawns. It was a big, stupid playground, and the best part was, it was free. The entire experience, whether it was PvP or PvE, was built around getting the player to jump into the action quickly, have a lot of fun, and approach objectives in a creative and unique way. There were no shark cards, no businesses or penthouses you could buy, no casinos, no cars, just a few different game modes built around fun. This was atypical for the time. The notion of an interconnected online multiplayer universe was reserved for larger MMOs, and most games with online multiplayer functionality simply allowed you to rank up and access more weapons or abilities. People played the online modes because they were just fun, and because of this, developers focused exclusively on the quality of content when making an online game. The only thing that wasn't fun back then was the pre-match lobbies. But there were times when that could actually be the most fun part. While GTA 4 was a massive success, Rockstar wanted more. You can only make so much money selling a $60 game, but if you flood your game with microtransactions, you can make more. Then, if you actually design your game around driving players towards purchasing more and more microtransactions, you can make a lot of money. When Rockstar first unveiled Grand Theft Auto V, it seemed like the online multiplayer component was going to be an extension of the criminal fantasy present in the campaign. You could own property, run a gang, and expand your criminal underworld all over the city. The dream held by so many well-written protagonists of GTA games was yours for the taking. All you had to do was log on and enjoy. Yet the dream of having an online mode built around fun that would capitalize on the fantasy of starting as a small-time criminal and moving to a crime boss was nothing but a farce. Over the 10+ years of GTA 5 Online, we have seen this service morph from a decent enough online world that offered fun gameplay experiences into a horrible cash grab built around exploiting a small group of whales who have no problem opening their wallet to Rockstar over and over again. GTA 5 Online had a decent enough start, but the exploitative elements that blossomed with time were always there. I loved jumping into co-op missions with my friends, but the payouts for completing these missions always ensured that you would have to do them over and over again if you wanted to make it big. Because there were so few missions on launch, this meant that you would do the same thing repeatedly. Soon enough, a fun, novel experience would grow stale. Also, why the do I have to watch a cutscene at the beginning of these missions in online mode? Your characters are mute, so Rockstar's amazing writing can only go so far, and when I'm queuing up with the boys, the last thing I want to do is hear Lester prattle on and make lame jokes.
Like I work at Pecka Woods. Like a regular dreamboat. Wow.
Sure, Rockstar would add more missions and variety as time went by, but by making payouts for missions small and by introducing shark cards as an alternative to gameplay, Rockstar would start to shift focus. Let me lay this out for you. So modern Rockstar is more concerned with making money than making a fun online game experience. Well, when that's your philosophy, the gameplay loop of Grand Theft Auto 4 Online goes out the window. Why would you make fun missions and gameplay types when you want to incentivize players to purchase in-game currency? In fact, isn't it better for you to purposefully make missions dull and laborious? When you make the ways to acquire in-game upgrades without spending money boring, players are more likely to open their wallets and just purchase in-game currency. So Rockstar naturally began to care less about the fun factor of online play, and instead focused on ways to exploit their player base. Hell, they eventually dropped any guise of caring for player fun by just opening up an in-game casino. Talk about subtle, Rockstar. Hopping into GTA Online today is an exercise in the mundane. The player is bombarded with phone calls for the same boring missions. Rockstar arbitrarily presents limited time or seasonal content to build FOMO so players spend money as soon as possible. And there have actually been lawsuits filed against Rockstar for using psychological addiction tactics to keep players paying for in-game rewards. A lot of people wonder why GTA 5 Online and subsequently Red Dead Redemption 2 Online is so bad. Loading times are horrendous, there is very little control over the quality of content presented to the player, and rewards for missions are infinitesimal. But all of this is actually by design. When you have an in-game economy fueled by players purchasing in-game currency, it behooves you to actually make your game worse to play. When you make missions repetitive or force players to watch uninspired cutscenes, you are planting the seed in their minds that they should just go buy in-game currency. The reason people were drawn to GTA Online in the first place was so they could fulfill the dream of moving up the totem pole and becoming a crime boss. Everyone who ever started up GTA Online had their eyes on something they wanted, whether it was a flashy car or a penthouse apartment. So by dangling these cool rewards in front of the player's face while making the road to obtaining these rewards awful, players will naturally be more incentivized to purchase in-game currency with real money. And that just sucks. I mean, these are things that I would normally attribute to a lesser developer who lacks the talent or understanding to make a great experience. But this is Rockstar we're talking about here. They consistently hit it out of the park with their single-player experiences. But when it comes to multiplayer, they engage in some of the seediest bullshit out there in order to nickel and dime their player base to death. I mean, it's not like they lack the ability to make an incredible online multiplayer experience. You can pick up Grand Theft Auto 4 right now and play Cops and Crooks and have a great time. The problem is, Cops and Crooks doesn't make billions. It's just a fun gameplay experience. And Rockstar of the 2020s doesn't want fun. They want their players put into a cycle that promotes purchasing above all else. And let me tell you, this hurts so much. Rockstar has made some of the best single-player experiences of all time, built around fun and creative experimentation in a vast open world. Literally, if you just slap together a handful of different game modes and allowed players to goof around to their heart's content in online matches, it would be amazing. There is no technical limitations preventing Rockstar from doing this. It's only greed that fuels them. And the cherry on top of the sundae is that because of the massive monetary success of GTA Online, Rockstar has actually canceled planned single-player DLC due to the fact that it's less profitable than their online content. This is the studio that brought us The Lost and the Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony. Both of these DLCs were impeccable, but their earnings pale in comparison to adding just one f***ing car to GTA Online. The sad truth is that exploiting a subset of whales is more profitable, so the talented writers and game designers at Rockstar will be relegated to making addictive subpar content that is designed to be terrible so that players will make purchases over and over again. Like, they made it so you can build an orbital cannon that vaporizes any player on the map, but it costs 500,000 in-game dollars to shoot. That's 10 real-life dollars. How f***ing greedy can you be? Rockstar built their career on parody. Every single game they've made is dripping with sarcasm, and they never hesitate to skewer anyone or anything that is ridiculous. But with GTA 5 Online and inevitably Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, I think that the biggest parody of a game developer is now Rockstar themselves. The money-grubbing criminal has long been a key staple of their stories. Whether you are an outlaw in the Old West or an up-and-comer in near-modern times, Rockstar has always laughed at the ridiculousness of these characters. Oftentimes, their characters chase the dream of money and will find that the reality is far different than the paradise they imagined. These characters that want it all usually end up with nothing, and their stories, while comedic at times, are ultimately tragedies.
I got caught up in the money, the power.
When the war came, I did bad things. And after the war, I thought nothing of doing bad things. I killed people, smuggled people, sold people.
I guess I'm afraid.
But the biggest tragedy of all is reserved for Rockstar. The company that built its brand on big dreams and not being afraid to laugh at those who chase the almighty dollar has reduced itself to the same tired, money-grubbing tactics of their competitors. Where once they focused on telling quality stories in immense, fantastic worlds, now they are actively working against their player base by creating addictive, boring gameplay cycles for their online players. All the while, they advertise the ability to buy in-game rewards with real-world currency. And as players line up to do this, Rockstar diverts their attention away from making quality gameplay additions to pumping out more junk designed to generate as much cash as possible. I am so stoked for Grand Theft Auto 6, and as a longtime fan of Rockstar, I think the single-player experience is going to be absolutely flawless. However, it pains me immensely to know that this studio, with so much talent and so much drive, is going to make an online multiplayer component that is not worthy of being in the same package as their single-player campaign. So when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, do yourself and everyone else a favor. Have fun in the online multiplayer. Play it as much as you want, but don't spend real-world money on anything in it. You're only rewarding Rockstar for bad business, and if they see GTA 6 Online explode as a source of revenue, we're going to see that their single-player ventures, the things they do best that we all fell in love with in the first place, will slow to to a snail's pace. It's no coincidence that as GTA Online rose in popularity and subsequently revenue, we saw a massive drop-off in Rockstar's mainline releases. The simple fact of the matter is that it's far easier to make shitty content for a broken multiplayer mode than it is to release full-fledged DLC. If we, as gamers who fell in love with Rockstar for their single-player content, continue to reward them for their shitty online mode, we'll see them respond by shifting support away from these mainline single-player experiences. What hurts me the most about this is that it's abundantly clear that Rockstar could make one of the greatest online experiences out there. They have the talent and the money to make an online mode full of dynamic, enjoyable missions. They could make a fairly balanced economy and redefine the scope of online play. Hell, they could eliminate real-world purchases entirely and still have a franchise that rakes in billions of dollars. But they're not going to do that. And my prediction is that while Grand Theft Auto 6 Online is going to initially be exciting, it will start to show some cracks pretty quickly. Many elements will be broken, others will be dull, and all of this will be by design so that Rockstar can continue to sell currency with real-world money. So let's just not do this again, okay? I would love to play Red Dead Redemption 3 or Grand Theft Auto 7 sometime before 2036, and I just don't see that happening if Rockstar has an insanely profitable online mode. So let's not buy into it, let's play it as much as we want, but when it comes to making money in the game, actually make it by playing the game and not by buying shark cards or whatever the new currency is. I'm just a one-man channel, so a like, subscribe, or even a comment goes a very long way, and I really appreciate it. You can check out some of my other content right here, and again, a subscribe helps a lot. I'll see you guys in a month for a new video, and until then, I hope you have a good one. Thanks, guys. Bye.